Year 2 after being exiled by Niu Yen to atone for my crimes. I lost my sight, but she not only didn't believe me, she left me alone on a desolate, freezing mountain and said, "Stop pretending. Go back to the villa on your own. If you're not back before curfew, you know the consequences." In the end, as I fell into the abyss, Lu Niu Yen turned back and said, "Ko Nan, come out. This is your last chance." Red spread everywhere. I slowly closed my eyes. But, Lu Niu Yen, there's no chance left for us. When I opened my eyes again, I could see clearly once more. In front of me was the sharp, cold face of Lu Niu Yen. I asked softly, "Why did you come back? You clearly wanted to force me to admit I was faking blindness. Then punish me by making me walk dozens of kilometers back to the villa. So why did you come back to find me?" But Lu Niu Yen didn't answer. Her gaze passed through me, staring into the distance. I looked down at my own transparent body. So, I had become a ghost. The sky was pitch black. Lu Niu Yen spoke coldly. "If you want to go, then go back on your own. Ko Nan, you chose this." I stood in front of her, no longer as I was before, silently enduring her cold words. I simply looked down at the abyss. Below, my body lay motionless, a crimson smear in the dark. I bowed my head and said quietly, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm still right here, at your feet. Just look down and you'll see me." I didn't intend to follow Lu Niu Yen. Yet somehow, my soul was drawn along by her footsteps. Leaving the mountain behind, Tan Sun was the best place in the city to watch the sunset. Back in high school, I used to drag Lu Niu Yen there with me. She always said yes back then. But now, I had to beg her for weeks. At that time, all I wanted was to see one last sunset before my eyes were swallowed completely by darkness. To see the sun setting in a blaze of orange on the mountaintop. To see Lu Niu Yen's face in the fading twilight. But she only gave a cold smile. "Ko Nan, do you think things are still the same? Now, you have no right to make any requests." When I told her I was going blind, Lu Niu Yen gave a mocking laugh, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Oh, really? How unfortunate. Because I suddenly feel like watching the sunset. If you can't see it, too bad." Startled, I looked up and grabbed her hand. "Let's go. I'm fine." Lu Niu Yen coldly pulled her hand away. "All right then." My vision blurred. I couldn't see her expression anymore. Only hear the disdain and mockery in her voice. But I was happy, not knowing that it was all just a trap. Lu Niu Yen was convinced I was pretending to be blind. So she left me alone on the mountaintop. My soul quietly followed her, walking down dimly lit paths along the mountainside. The night wind was freezing. Suddenly, a soft sound echoed. Lu Niu Yen stopped walking and said coldly, "Ko Nan, come out." I froze, staring at her back. Could it be she sensed my presence? Just as I was about to approach her, someone else stepped out from the bushes. It was Chu Than. Lu Niu Yen frowned and asked, "Why are you here?" Chu Than, Niu Yen's childhood fiancé, the one who had chased after her for so many years. Usually so arrogant, but today, he looked unusually worn and exhausted. With panicked eyes and a trembling voice. "Ko Nan, he didn't come back with you?" Lu Nhu Yen narrowed her eyes. Instead of answering, she shot back, "Have you been following us?" No, I haven't." Chu then frantically waved his hands, stammering, "You don't need to see him as a threat. He's just..." Lu Niu Yen let out a cold laugh. "Just a criminal. He won't affect our engagement." The night wind was piercing, like 1,000 needles stabbing through my soul. I stood in front of her and whispered, "The one who sees me as a thorn in their side. As you." But Lu Niu Yen walked straight past me. "Let's go. Don't mind him." Chu then silently got into the car. Though the road was empty, Lu Nuyen drove slowly. The closer they got to the villa, the tighter she gripped the steering wheel, clearly trying to contain her anger. Suddenly, she slammed on the brakes. Chu then, caught off guard, dropped the schoolbag from his lap onto the car floor. A diamond bracelet stained with something red slipped out of the bag. Lu Nuyen said coldly, "Get out. Take a taxi home yourself." Trembling, Chu then quietly gathered his things and hurried out. Then, Lu Nuyen stepped on the gas and sped toward the villa. I silently followed her inside and watched as she stormed up to a small room on the second floor, shouting furiously, "I told you to walk home. Who gave you the nerve to take a taxi?" The villa was clean, quiet, and empty. Her face darkened further, the anger in her chest seemingly growing by the second. An old butler approached and softly asked, "Didn't the young master come back with you, miss?" Lu Nuyen frowned. "He's still not back?" "No. The young master said he'd return with you. He hasn't been this happy in a long time. Don't call him young master anymore," she snapped. "He's just the son of a nanny." I stood frozen. So even after 15 years of living in the same house, in her eyes, I was still just the nanny's son? A burning pain surged through my chest. I stared at her in silence, suddenly feeling utterly foolish. I used to think I was different. That even after what happened 4 years ago, even after serving time in prison, once Lu Nuyen vented her anger, we could go back to how things were before. But maybe I was wrong. "Do you want me to send someone to look for the young master? I mean, Mr. Ko Nan?" the butler asked gently. "No need," Lu Nuyen replied coldly as she headed upstairs to the study. "He won't die out there. Let him suffer a little. It might do him some good." As she climbed the stairs, a little white dog happily came running down from the second floor. It was Dodo. Dodo was the dog we adopted together 4 years ago. At the time, it was barely a month old, seriously ill, and abandoned at a vet clinic. I had dragged Lu Nuyen to see it and said, "The poor puppy. Let's save it, shall we?" Lu Nuyen tilted her head at me. "One clingy puppy like you is already enough of a nuisance. Now you want me to take care of another?" I gave her a thick-skinned smile. In the end, she reluctantly agreed, even paying a large sum up front for its treatment. Not long after, the clinic called to say the puppy had recovered. I held it in my arms and ran to Lu Nuyen, grinning. "Hey, Nhuyen, let's take it home. But, can you tell your mom it was your idea to keep it?" Later, her mother decided to keep Dodo. Not because her daughter wanted to, but because I did. She was kind, gentle, and always patient with me. Whenever Lu Nuyen and I skipped school and took the dog to play at the beach, all of us ending up muddy from head to toe, she never got angry. She'd just smile and tell us to wash up. Then she'd set a freshly baked cake on the table, waiting for us to enjoy it together. But things changed after that. "Shut up. If you bark again, you can get out of this house too," Lu Nuyen shouted and slammed the study door with force. Dodo flinched, letting out a soft whimper. Its eyes looked at me with hope and longing. I crouched down, wanting to pet it, but I couldn't touch anything. I could only speak softly. "Good boy, Dodo. You missed me, didn't you? But what now? Maybe you'll never see me again." A puppy doesn't understand what death means. It only wonders why Lu Nuyen took me out and didn't bring me back. It refused to give up, pawing at the study door with its tiny feet, barking non-stop like it was scolding her. Until, bang! Something heavy slammed against the door. Terrified, Dodo shrank back and scurried to the end of the upstairs hallway. I quietly slipped through the door and saw a thick dictionary lying on the floor. Its cover had flipped open. revealing two names. Lu Nguyen, Conan. Her name came first, mine followed right after. I gave her that dictionary when she turned 15. I was foolish enough to write my name just beneath hers, as if that could bring me a little closer to the girl I liked. Suddenly, the phone on her desk vibrated. Lu Nguyen picked it up. Chu Than? The caller seemed to be asking about Chu Than's whereabouts. She replied indifferently, "Sorry, I'm not really sure." The other person kept talking. She listened patiently, then said coldly, "I'm very busy lately. The engagement will have to be postponed. Don't ask again." She hung up and quickly dialed another number, ordering a few people to search for Conan around Tan Son and along the road to the villa. When the call ended, Nhu Yen quietly walked over and picked up the dictionary. She slowly flipped through the pages. A wave of bitter emotion welled up in me. I smiled faintly and whispered, "Nhu Yen, you'll never find me again. You've lost me today. Forever." Not long after, her phone rang again. She pulled it from her pocket and answered, "Have you found him yet?" I was close enough to clearly hear the voice on the other end. "Miss Lu, we still haven't located him. But we did find out that Mr. Conan recently had a checkup at the city eye hospital." Lu Nguyen frowned. "The eye hospital?" "Yes. It seems Mr. Conan might have an issue with his vision." She clenched her teeth. "I don't want might. Confirm the details and report back to me." With that, she ended the call and turned back to the documents on her desk. The night was silent. I sat quietly on the wool rug, just like I used to 4 years ago. Back then, she was 2 grades above me. The pressure of studying always had her hunched over her desk, doing practice tests. Meanwhile, I'd curl up on the rug beside her, lost in whatever book I was reading. Whenever I got too emotional and ended up a mess of tears and sniffles, she would sigh, grab a tissue to wipe my face, and tease, "You're such a crybaby. What kind of man cries like this over nothing?" That night was quiet too, just like now. Even the faint scent of orchids drifting through the window hadn't changed. Only we had. Eventually, Lu Nguyen couldn't take it anymore. She slammed the stack of papers on the desk. For over 30 minutes, she had stared at the same single page. Now she muttered, voice cold as ice, "Conan, I underestimated you. You even went as far as faking medical records?" I watched her furious expression, wanting to tell her that I hadn't faked anything. I didn't lie to her. My eyesight had slowly worsened. What began as night blindness had spread to the day. At first, it was just in the dark. But now, even a dim room blurred everything. I had told her, but she just replied coldly, "Playing the pity card again? Conan, that trick doesn't work on me anymore." Then she looked at me with disgust in her eyes. "If you really do go blind, I'll make sure to throw you far, far away." But now I was truly gone from her life. So why does she still look so unhappy? In the quiet room, Lu Nguyen's breathing was uneven. She tried to sleep, but her lashes trembled slightly, tossing and turning with frustration. She finally sat up and reached for her phone, as if afraid she'd miss an important message. No one knew how much time had passed, but a sudden clap of thunder split the silence of the night. In her dazed state, Nhu Yen instinctively reached for the other side of the bed and gently patted it. "It's okay, Conan. Don't be afraid." Her hand froze mid-air. Startled, Lu Nguyen opened her eyes and let out a long, deep breath. There was no way she could fall back asleep now. Before dawn had fully broken, she got out of bed and quietly left the room. I had no choice but to follow. I didn't know where she was going, but it certainly wasn't to find me. Just as she opened the front door, her phone suddenly rang in her pocket. She gripped the doorknob tightly with one hand and answered the call with the other. The assistant's voice came through the speaker. Miss Liu, I just received a call from the doctor at the eye hospital. Her voice was a little hoarse. What did they say? The doctor said Mr. Ko Nan was scheduled for a follow-up appointment yesterday. But he didn't show up. She's worried that he may have gotten into some trouble because of his vision. When they arrived at the eye hospital, Dr. Luong was still seeing patients. Lu Nuyen clenched her fists and stood waiting outside the examination room. The pressure she radiated made the people in line around her instinctively back away. As soon as she stepped in, she said coldly, "What did Ko Nan bribe you with to lie and cover for him?" I stood behind her and quietly mouthed an apology to Dr. Luong. She was a kind and dedicated ophthalmologist. After my previous visit, she had taken the initiative to save my number and promised to remind me of my appointments or help however she could. Dr. Luong looked calmly but firmly at Lu Nuyen. "You're not the woman who answered the phone this morning." That was his assistant. Lu Nuyen nearly snapped, but restrained herself, lowering her voice. "I don't know why Ko Nan didn't save my number, but I'm his sister. Please, tell me everything about him." "Sister? No. She stopped being my sister the day I got out of prison. She never once picked up my calls. If she needed something, she just had her assistant pass the message. So why would I even bother saving her number? Because my emergency contact was my assistant." Nhu Yen could only listen in from the sidelines. Dr. Luong continued. "Yesterday was a scheduled follow-up, but we couldn't reach him. His vision is deteriorating rapidly. He can't even see clearly during the day anymore. Last time he came in, he also had a leg injury." At those words, Lu Nuyen's eyes flickered. Her hand clenched tighter. At his current condition, Ko Nan is absolutely not fit to be walking around alone. That sentence pierced Nhu Yen like a knife to the heart. "Where is he now? Are you taking proper care of him?" No one had an answer. Her body froze, her face darkening by the second. I remembered that day. I had begged her, told her that I couldn't walk, that my leg hurt so badly I couldn't bear it. But she ignored me, cold as ever. She even lashed out with more force, leaving me in double the pain. The bruises from falling blended with the marks she left on me. So minor they hardly seemed worth mentioning. Back then, even a scraped knee would make her frown with worry. But now, she said I was faking it, said I was acting. A year ago, just after I was released and arrested again, she had told me, "From now on, I won't believe a single word you say. Ko Nan, you're not worthy." But the truth is, I never lied to her. Not even once. Lu Nuyen's voice now carried less edge than before. "Dr. Luong, what exactly is wrong with Ko Nan's eyes?" Dr. Luong let out a long sigh. He didn't want to disclose the details, but based on his previous records, it might be optic neuritis, possibly caused by trauma from 4 years ago. "Trauma?" Lu Nuyen was stunned. She murmured, 4 years ago." A spark flashed in her eyes. Then she sneered. "It must have been from a prison fight. He must be so ashamed. Never mentioned a thing about it." "That's not true," I said quietly. "I didn't fight anyone." But Nhu Yen didn't hear me. Or maybe, even if she did, she wouldn't believe it. Outside the hospital, the sky had turned gloomy. Thick, heavy clouds hung overhead, threatening rain. Lu Nuyen climbed into the car with a cold, stern expression, and turned to question her assistant, without a hint of warmth. "Why haven't you found Ko Nan yet? He doesn't have a national ID. Can't leave the country. He's somewhere within this city. How can it be this hard to find a living person?" The assistant apologized while making phone calls to check the progress of the investigation. Lu Nuyen closed her eyes, leaning her head back against the seat. Her fingers curled and pressed lightly between her brows. The wrinkle between her eyebrows hadn't even faded when she picked up her phone and opened the search page. I saw her type, optic neuritis. As the page loaded, countless lines of text appeared. Sudden vision loss, eye socket pain, pain with eye movement, can lead to blindness. Her finger scrolled faster and faster, skimming, then going back to read carefully. Suddenly, she turned off the screen and said urgently to her assistant, "Turn the car around. We're going to Ton Nam prison." Now, I shrank back slightly, even though it had been a year. The name, Ton Nam prison, still filled me with fear. Looking out the car window, I thought to myself, I wonder if I'm really dead now. If I am, that would be such a relief. Then I could disappear forever and never have to return to that place again. I was forced to follow Lu Nguyen as she stepped into a dull, gray space. The sky was gray. The walls of Ton Nam prison were gray too. She was led into a low-ceilinged room. She told the officer, "Officer, I need the full report of Ko Nan's situation during his 3 years here." The officer asked, "And what is your relation to Ko Nan?" Without thinking, she replied, "I'm his sister." The prison officer chuckled. "So you're the one he always talked about. But, during the entire time he served his sentence, I don't think you ever visited him once. Did you?" Lu Nguyen froze mid-step. Her lashes drooped slightly. "I just wanted him to reflect seriously on his mistakes." The officer didn't comment further. He pulled a thick file from a cabinet and handed it to her. His health wasn't great, so his file's thicker than most. "Please take your time reading it." The door closed. The room fell into silence. A silence I knew all too well. It was heavy, like an endless night without destination. Lu Nguyen turned to the first page. She read for a long time. Upon admission, the inmate had a 10 centimeters wound on the back of the head, an injury sustained prior to arrest. The inmate frequently experienced dizziness and nausea. He was later hospitalized and diagnosed with an intracranial hemorrhage. Treatment was conservative. The discharge paper clearly states, the patient refused surgery and was informed of the potential complications from the blood clot, including pressure on the central nervous system affecting speech, motor skills, and vision. That's right, I wasn't lucky. I didn't escape the complications. Dr. Luong said my optic neuritis was caused by the clot pressing on the nerve. But if I had opted for surgery at the time, it could have led to irreversible damage, even death. I wasn't afraid of dying. I was just afraid that even behind bars, I'd still be a burden to Lu Nguyen. She flipped to the next page and found the psychological evaluation taken after my hospital stay. The doctor had asked, "How did you get injured?" I stayed silent and refused to answer. "Why didn't you opt for surgery? Weren't you afraid of the consequences?" I replied, "Surgery would cost a lot. I've made mistakes. I don't deserve anything. What do you plan to do after your release?" I stared blankly, then slowly nodded. "Yes, I want to see my sister. Just once. She probably doesn't want to see me again. So I'll just hide in the shadows somewhere. Just one glimpse of her is enough. I only want to see that she's healthy, that she has a happy life." Lu Nguyen should have moved on with her life, not come here, digging through something that doesn't matter anymore. Eventually, she closed the file, but instead of leaving, she turned to the prison officer and said, "Can I meet Ko Nan's father?" "Ko Tan?" "No." I collapsed to the ground, burying my head in my arms. "Don't go see him. I don't want to see him ever again." Half my soul stayed stubbornly behind. The other half was being dragged away by Lu Nguyen, torn clean in two. The pain was unbearable, so I dragged my broken spirit after her, all the way to face Ko Tan. 4 years ago, Why did Conan suffer that head injury? Separated by a pane of glass, Khotan sat slumped on a metal chair for inmates. When he heard Lu Nuyen's question, he slowly raised his head and chuckled. My son's a fool, but you're even more foolish than he is. Bang! Lu Nuyen slammed both palms on the table, grinding her teeth in fury. Answer me, Khotan roared before continuing. When the wall collapsed, it was that idiot son of mine who threw himself in front of you to shield you with his body. What? What did you say? Lu Nuyen's face turned deathly pale. Frozen in horror, she murmured, That's impossible. He was your accomplice. He helped you kidnap me for money. Why would he care about whether I lived or died? He cared enough to risk his life. Khotan shouted. That boy didn't care about money. He only cared about you. You think he was there to help me? That fool showed up to save you. That's right. I truly was a fool. Foolish enough to think that if I just gave Khotan more money, he'd leave us alone. Khotan was a gambler. A violent man. My mother couldn't take it anymore and ran away with me. Barely 3 years old at the time. She was taken in by Lu Nuyen's mother, who gave her a job as a housekeeper. Over 15 years, they went from employer and servant to inseparable sisters. I went from being the unlucky bastard people whispered about to the young master of the Lu household. But all of that ended the moment Khotan reappeared. He blackmailed me, extorted money, never enough for him. Then he and others kidnapped Lu Nuyen. My mother and I called the police and brought ransom money to rescue her. In that abandoned warehouse, Lu Nuyen was unconscious. Just as Khotan grabbed the money and tried to flee, she suddenly came to and chased after me. Clutching me tightly, she said, Don't. It's too dangerous. Let the police handle the criminals. Your safety is what matters most. But before I could respond, a crooked wall of the warehouse came crashing down. Khotan had noticed the police approaching and rammed the building with a vehicle. I lunged forward to shield Lu Nuyen, but I couldn't protect her mother. A steel beam slammed down, landing directly on her. Lu Nuyen's father had died young. Her mother was her only remaining family. And in that senseless disaster, her last loved one was taken from her. I became the criminal, and was thrown in prison. Khotan was right. I really was cursed. And Lu Nuyen wasn't wrong either. 3 years in prison could never wash away the sins I carried. Khotan leaned back in his chair. The boy was terrified I'd find him and his mother. And even more afraid I'd learn about you too. Every time I mentioned your name, he'd immediately hand over more money. Easy cash. He chuckled. Too bad he placed his feelings in the wrong person. He cherished you so much. And all you did was accuse him of being my accomplice. Lu Nuyen was trembling. Her fists clenched so tightly they shook. Khotan leaned forward, voice low and mocking. Oh, I see you finally get it now. That boy, you haven't pushed him to death already, have you? You better hope not. If he dies, there'll be no one left on this earth who would ever love you like he did. Shut up, Lu Nuyen roared, slamming her fist into the glass. Khotan grinned in triumph as guards dragged him away. A deep rumble of thunder echoed in the sky. Moments later, raindrops began to tap against the glass. I reached up to wipe my eyes and looked down at Lu Nuyen's face. Also soaked. She was panting, hands limp on the table, like she had just lost something irreplaceable. Her face looked grim, drained, and lifeless. Conan. Her voice was hoarse. Where did you go? Come back. Even if you're blind, I won't abandon you. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. She snatched it up in a rush. You found him, didn't you? The voice on the other end was muffled by rain. Raspy and disoriented. Yes, we found him. But Miss Lu, I'm very sorry. Conan. He's already passed away. What? Her brows knitted together, but her voice was no more than a whisper. Then, fury overtook her. She screamed into the phone. Don't talk nonsense. Keep searching. Keep searching right now. The voice on the other end paused, then replied, We found Ko Nan at the foot of Mount Tan Sun. By the time we arrived, he was no longer breathing. Lu Nguyen's hands began to tremble violently. Her phone slipped from her grasp and hit the floor. Her eyes turned hollow as she kept murmuring, No, it can't be. How could this happen? I stood behind her, watching that once straight back slowly curve in despair. Trembling. Finally, she collapsed to the ground on her knees. A concerned voice crackled from the phone. Ms. Lu, are you all right? Where is he? Lu Nguyen asked, voice shaking. Take him to the hospital. Immediately. Yes. The voice responded, then hung up. Lu Nguyen picked up her phone and rushed out. At the same time, she frantically called nearly every medical expert in the city, begging them to head to the central hospital. But it's useless. Lu Nguyen. I'm already dead. I sat in the back seat, staring into the rearview mirror, seeing the bloodshot eyes staring back at me. You should be happy, shouldn't you? So why do you look like you're breaking? Is it because your revenge still isn't complete? I remember you once said that to me. That day, after torturing me to exhaustion, I passed out in the bathroom. You didn't even flinch. You waited until you were satisfied to drag me back to bed. As always, you did your morning workout, went to work, and only after returning home that evening did you realize I was barely breathing. Already half dead. Call a doctor. Hurry. That roar pulled my fading consciousness back. Lu Nguyen gripped my shoulders, shouting my name. Her hand pressed hard on the wound that was still bleeding. It hurt. I frowned slightly. A warm tear rolled down the corner of my eye, wiped away by her finger. Rough, almost angry. Ko Nan. She gritted through her teeth. I haven't even finished getting my revenge. How dare you try to die on me? Living or dying. I never really got to choose. Because Lu Nguyen hated me. She hated me for stopping her from chasing Ko Tan. Hated me for being the son of the man who killed her mother. I didn't blame her, because the situation did look too much like betrayal. But now, I have nothing left to atone with. Lu Nguyen, what more do you want from me? The car screeched to a stop outside the hospital. Her assistant approached hesitantly. Ms. Lu, have the specialists all arrived yet? Lu Nguyen strode toward the emergency room. Ms. Lu, the assistant called after her, gesturing. Mr. Ko, he's over here. He's already been transferred to a room after resuscitation. What? Lu Nguyen appeared calm, but her hands hung limply at her sides. Trembling. I had seen that reaction once before. The day she found her mother lying in a pool of blood. The assistant shook his head, his voice heavy. The specialists came and left. Because signs of livor mortis have already appeared on Mr. Ko's body. Silence fell, so thick it felt suffocating. Even Lu Nguyen's breathing was inaudible. She stood motionless under the pale, flickering fluorescent lights. Her face had gone ghostly white. Minutes passed before she slowly lifted her feet and walked toward the last room at the end of the hallway. The air seemed colder there. Her legs like ice. Her steps slowing with every inch. The door opened, and there, under a pristine white sheet, was me. Lu Nguyen stepped forward and lifted the cover gently, reaching out to touch my face. Her voice was soft, so soft, I almost forgot how it once used to hurt me. Ko Nan, wake up. It's okay if you can't see. Just don't close your eyes like this. I'll find the best doctor in the world to fix it. The person beneath the sheet remained still, eyes shut as if merely asleep. So she braced her hands on the bedside, leaning down, staring deep into my now lifeless eyes. I'm sorry. Conan. I know now. That day, you came to save me. Didn't you? You got hurt that day. That's why your eyesight was ruined. It was my fault. I shouldn't have doubted you. Shouldn't have. Her voice broke. She couldn't go on. Her body trembled uncontrollably, as if the pain she now felt was tearing her apart from the inside. Outside the window, thunder roared. Rain poured harder than before. Thunder again. Lu Nuyen whispered. You always hated thunderstorms the most. Didn't you, Conan? Every time you heard them in the middle of the night, you'd wake up and crawl under my blanket, clutching your pillow. But now, why is it so quiet? It was already late at night. Lu Nuyen still stood motionless beside the corpse, like a worn, crumbling statue, shrouded in gloom and silence, until a police officer knocked on the door and entered. Ms. Lu, we've found another person's DNA under Conan's fingernails, he said. That means it wasn't an accidental fall. Do you have any suspects? Lu Nuyen froze. Her gaze slowly dropped to my pale fingertips. I followed her stare, and memory dragged me back. That day, after Lu Nuyen left, I fell from the mountain cliff. The wind up there was ferocious. I pulled out my phone, trying to turn on the flashlight, but the moment I did, someone snatched it away. The sky was too dark. My eyes wide open, I could only make out a blurry shadow. I thought it was a robber and calmly said, "You can take the phone, but please help me down the mountain. I won't call the police." The man let out a soft laugh, then tossed my phone into the abyss. So you really can't see? Huh? My whole body tensed. I instantly recognized the voice. Chu Than. Lu Nuyen already went down the mountain. He said, "You can still call her now. It's not too late." He stepped closer. "But I came here for you." Suddenly, his tone turned vicious. "Conan, blame yourself for being such a burden." Lu Nuyen said even if she marries me, she'll still live with you. She warned me not to meddle. And for what? For a blind man? The wind howled, distorting his voice. A blind man accidentally falling off a cliff. Doesn't that sound perfectly normal? He shoved me hard. I fell backward, arms instinctively reaching forward. At that instant, I tore the bracelet off his wrist. The feeling of freefall, of helplessness, of despair, etched into my bones. Impossible to forget. I closed my eyes, then opened them again, staring at my empty hands. That day, we ran into Chu Than at the trail entrance. He must have gone back to retrieve the bracelet. I looked at Lu Nuyen. She'll say, no, right? The Lu and Chu families had been business partners for decades. An alliance built on mutual interest, marriage included. Lu Nuyen was always rational. Why would she risk it all for someone insignificant like me? But to my astonishment, after a long pause, she spoke. Yes. My eyes widened in shock as she continued. Chu Than, the only son of the chairman of Chu Group. She recounted everything that happened that day, even mentioned the car that picked him up. The officer took notes and said, "We'll investigate this lead. Ms. Lu, you may need to testify in court." Lu Nuyen nodded and asked, "Will he be sentenced to death?" The officer replied, "If he's convicted, the judge will determine the punishment." She closed the door and returned to my side, gazing at my still body. Her voice broke into a plea. "I've found the one who hurt you. So now you'll wake up, right? Please, Conan, wake up. Wake up to punish me. Wake up to do to me everything I once did to you. Please?" I lowered my gaze and gave a bitter smile. "If I were still alive, I wouldn't punish you. I just wish to never see you again." The long night passed, but I never woke. When the morgue doors opened, the assistant saw her, and was completely stunned. In just one night, Lu Nguyen's once jet black hair had turned completely white. She turned to face them, her voice so hoarse it was barely audible. What is it? A police officer stepped in behind the assistant and said, Ms. Lu, we need you to come to the station to assist with the investigation. Lu Nguyen asked calmly, have you caught Chu then yet? He claimed he was just following orders, and named you as the mastermind behind Conan's murder. The police laid the arrest warrant in front of Nguyen and continued, we need you to come with us now. Her wrists were cuffed. As she turned her head to look at me, she whispered, so, this is what it feels like. Tears fell once more. When Conan was wronged, it must have hurt even more than this. Right? No, not hurt. I looked at her coldly and corrected. It was pain. Back then, when Lu Nguyen's mother died tragically, my mother rushed to the hospital. The moment she saw the body, she broke down. She knelt in front of the corpse, and in front of Nguyen, who wore a blank expression, crying endlessly that it was all her fault, that she had dragged the whole Lu family into this mess. The day I was arrested, my mother jumped into the river and ended her life. The police car drove past the bridge. From inside, I saw them pulling her body from the water. At that moment, I thought, if only I were the one who died. Real pain doesn't fade with time. It takes root deeper and deeper inside you. It feeds on Lu Nguyen's thirst for revenge, growing larger, devouring hope, desire, and the love I once had for her. So now, I feel nothing for you anymore. Lu Nguyen, it seems I've stopped loving you. But she couldn't hear me. The police took her away. I still couldn't leave her, so I stayed to watch the interrogation. The officer said, we compared the DNA found under Conan's nails with Chu Than's. It's a match. But we also discovered Conan's blood inside your car. Do you have an explanation? Lu Nguyen's expression was cold. Her lips tightly pressed. She didn't resist. She completely admitted it. She wanted to punish herself, to endure everything I once endured. But sadly, doing so, other than making herself feel emotional, accomplished nothing. As she left the interrogation room, walking down the hallway, Chu then approached from the opposite side, his face twisted with rage. As they passed each other, he suddenly stopped and whispered manically, Lu Nguyen, when I found Conan at the bottom of the mountain, he was still alive, still clutching my bracelet, refusing to let go. But then I said one thing, and he immediately gave up. His face lit up with manic joy. Do you know what I told him? Lu Nguyen's eyes turned bloodshot. She clenched her teeth, breathing raggedly. The police dragged Chu then away. The distance between them grew. From the far end of the hallway, Chu then shouted, I told him. You told me to kill him. You said he should have died a long time ago. Ha! His laughter echoed and faded. But Lu Nguyen could no longer stand. She collapsed to her knees, her voice trembling. It was me. I killed you. Conan. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The truth is, I loved you. I've loved you since 4 years ago. I've always loved you. It's okay. Lu Nguyen. Don't say love anymore. It's laughable. I stood beside her, eyes lowered, looking at her snow-white hair. Death didn't bring me sorrow. At least, it was better than being tormented by her for a lifetime. However, the police were not easily fooled. Eventually, they uncovered the full truth. But because Lu Nguyen had obstructed justice, she was still sentenced to 1 year of probation. She didn't go to jail, but locked herself away at home, never stepping outside. The elderly housekeeper had gone back to her hometown, taking Dodo with her. Nguyen had nothing left to hold on to. She laid carpet across the entire floor, replaced all the furniture with rounded corners. And every night, she called for me. Conan. Come out. I've covered the floor. It's soft now. Even if you fall, it won't hurt. Later, when she couldn't find me anymore, she boarded up every window and door with wooden planks, blocking out every ray of light. Then, she removed the carpet and wrapped thick black cloth around her eyes. Conan, now I'm just like you. I can't see anything anymore. Not being able to see, it's like having your legs cut off. At this point, Lu Nuyen was no different from me back then, constantly tripping, her body covered in bruises. One time, she fell down the stairs and injured her leg. It hurt so badly, she couldn't sleep the entire night. Lu Nuyen seemed ill, perhaps mad. Her whole body was haggard, more ghost-like than even I was. Both she and Chu then had been convicted. The arranged marriage was annulled. The company fell into a storm of public backlash, its stock prices plummeting. The board couldn't reach her, nor could they find her. In the end, they dismissed her, a workaholic, a woman who built her life on her career. Now, she had nothing left. There's no need for this. I looked at Lu Nuyen, now a broken, mad woman, and said, stop doing all these meaningless things. It's better to quickly arrange my funeral, so I can finally leave this world. Perhaps she really heard me. When the funeral home called for the third time, to ask about cremation arrangements, she finally stepped out of the house. Sunlight was too bright for her, but she didn't wear sunglasses. Her bloodshot, swollen eyes were fully exposed. Calmly, she made all the arrangements. Then, she took my urn and climbed Tan Sun Mountain alone. It seemed, she truly couldn't see anymore. She moved slowly, feeling her way. The sky was clear. By the time she reached the summit, the sun was setting. Lu Nuyen dug a small hole beside the cliff, placed my urn inside, covered it with earth, then silently sat down beside the cliff. Beside me. Conan, you like this place, don't you? Her voice was soft. Look, it's just in time for the sunset. I sat down too, tilting my head to look at her. The day I fell from this cliff, the sky had looked just like this. Crimson light burning on the mountain's edge. Her face had been bathed in red. That day, she hadn't even looked at me, just coldly asked, "Is it beautiful?" I stared at her face and blurted out, "It's beautiful." She was asking about the scenery, but what I meant was her. But today, I only wanted to look at the view, truly see it, in full. It was beautiful. I smiled and thought, this world is beautiful. If there's a next life, if I'm reborn as a person again, I'll make sure to truly look at this world, not just blindly follow behind someone else. My ashes had returned to the earth. My soul felt lighter. At last, it was time to leave. The sun sank behind the horizon. Darkness swept over the mountaintop. The wind rose once more. It lifted me up into the sky. I saw Lu Nuyen stumbling to her feet, approaching the cliff's edge. "Conan, wait for me, okay?" And with that, she opened her arms wide, like a delicate leaf drifting downward into the abyss. And I rose in the opposite direction, higher and higher, until I merged with blinding light. Conan, Conan. When my feet touched the ground again, I followed the sound of her voice. Sure enough, I saw my mother. Beside her stood another woman, Lu Nuyen's mother, arm in arm, just like they used to be, warm and gentle. I ran up and embraced them. "Let's go," my mother said. I smiled, nodded, and walked forward with them. When we neared the radiant golden gates, I paused, turned back, and breathed a quiet sigh of relief. No one was chasing after me. From now on, perhaps Lu Nuyen and I will never meet again. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. See you again in the next videos.